Hello friends and welcome back to AppleQuest. Today's apple is an Ambrosia Gold. PLU on this is 3438. There we go. 3438 is the PLU that we're looking for. And this was found, Ambrosia Gold comes to us from our friends to the north up in Canada. In British Columbia in about 1987. Ooh. Some good movies came out in 1987. The Lost Boys. I think Hellraiser came out in, was it 87 or 88? I'll have to look that up. It's irrelevant for AppleQuest though, but the 80s was just an incredible decade for scary movies. Apparently a pretty good decade for apples. The apple we're eating today, the Ambrosia Gold, was found growing wild on a Jonah Gold orchard owned by the, I'm so sorry you guys, it's either Menel or Menel family. They had a Jonah Gold orchard where they also grew Starking Delicious, an apple that I did not know of until I started doing a little bit of research for the Ambrosia Gold. But I'm sorry to veer off course here. This is kind of an off-the-cuff review. I'm trying to do this on my lunch hour at work. Anyway, I'm going to say Menel. Or am I going to say Menel? The Menel family had a Jonah Gold orchard where they also grew Starking Delicious and Golden Delicious. This apple, the Ambrosia Gold, is thought to be a natural cross just found growing in the wild in the part of the orchard, this Jonah Gold orchard, where they also had these other apples growing, the Starking Delicious and the Golden Delicious. A rogue tree was found producing this fruit right in the vicinity of the other two. So it seems likely that that's what the parentage is, even though it's currently unknown. So this apple is, I don't know, is this a red blush on a yellow background, or is this a yellow blush on a red background? It's a very attractive looking apple. The patches of pale yellow, I really like. They really stand out in the supermarket aisle. These are not farm to face for me. I got these at the grocery store. When I started eating apples seriously in fall of 2017, my three go-tos at the time were Jonah Gold, this Ambrosia Gold, and oh yeah, one called Autumn Glory. Those were in my mind, those were pretty much the absolute height of apple indulgence at that point in my apple eating journey. You typically find the same 15 to 20 varieties of apple at a supermarket, and of the ones available at that time, near the beginning of the holiday season in fall of 2017, those three for me were where it was at. This, the Ambrosia Gold, the Jonah Gold, and the Autumn Glory. So this apple, today's apple, the Jonah Gold, the Ambrosia Gold, is supposed to be mildly sweet with a finely coarse texture to the flesh. So let's get cracking. It's apple time. Boy, that actually, it's funny. It tastes nostalgic since I ate so many of these now going on about 7 years ago. Boy, that really does nicely fit the description of mildly sweet. It's not very acidic at all, and the flesh is, in fact, lightly coarse. It's also a nice off-white color. I hope that doesn't show up as too yellow in my camera. It's a nice pale white. It holds up well to cooking. I know this because it says so on the Stemlet Growers website, which I will, of course, link to with the usual resources in the description below. And incidentally, right next to the description below, you will find your opportunity to like, comment, and subscribe. We still have fewer than 24 subscribers, and I'm one of them with my personal account. So we don't even have 24 subscribers yet. So many Weisenheimers out there who think they can just lead a perfectly happy, Apple-free lifestyle. People just don't know yet. That's why we need more subscribers, and sharing this video would also be quite good. So, another bite, then we're going to get to the rankings pretty quick. It's juicy too. It's also nice and juicy. I should not do Apple reviews on my lunch hour. I'm not thinking as clearly and deeply as I ought to be. This apple is more subtle and deserves a mindful consumption. Oh, I saw that it was slow to brown, which is good. And this will be doubly so if you're cutting your apples with a ceramic knife to avoid any contact with any metal. If you like to feed apple slices to your kids and you don't want them to brown easily because that's kind of a visual turnoff for youngsters, I would strongly recommend a ceramic knife. They work so nicely. And the lack of contact with a metal, since it's ceramic, further inhibits any chance of browning. Ooh, did you hear that crunch? That was nice. That was nice. The skin of the apple, it's not thick, but it does have a nice snap when your teeth puncture it. So, I mean, if you're into apple skins, and you should be, since that's where so many of the nutrients are. Big apple energy. No. This is a more subtle apple that you get more out of it if you're just eating it instead of eating it while trying to do another task. It's the flavors are all there. They're good. There's some floral notes coming through. It has a nice mouthfeel with your tongue over the lightly coarse texture. It's juicy and refreshing, but it just doesn't pound you over the head demanding attention with any one particular flavor that really comes through super strong. It's just an apple that makes you feel good for eating an apple. It's the sort of apple that's so lightly crisp and juicy that you just kind of makes you feel happy inside for doing something good for your body like this. So maybe it does have big apple energy. I'm going to say Big Apple energy, no. But you don't need Big Apple energy for an apple to be quite good, because this is solid B tier material on a tier scale of A, B, C, D, F, with S being superior above all. So even though it lacks Big Apple energy, it's still solid B tier apple material. It's very good. An easy 3 stars. An easy 3 stars. 1 out of 5 stars. 5 stars being tops. 3.5 stars. 3.5 stars. I said it, I'm committing to it. 3.5 star apple right here. So no Big Apple energy because it's too subtle, but it's a 3.5 star apple. Very, very solid B tier. I'm thinking about the final ranking, the Jake Appleman Apple Power ranking, as I make these shoes. I'm trying to strip away the nostalgia factor that I have in eating one of these after so long, because I used to eat these on the regular. Trying to remain somewhat level-headed and even-handed in my ranking. One moment, please. The skin, while of average thickness and I noted it has a nice snap to it. There's nothing coming through flavor-wise on the skin. It's all in the flesh. The Jake Appleman Apple Power ranking for this. Let's see. I gave Golden Delicious. I think it was 356 and a third. This is. I'm going to give this an Apple Power ranking of 501.95. 501.95 on a scale of 1 to 1,000. A couple of reviews ago, I noted that it was kind of a throwaway statement for me to say that a particular apple would be really good in salads. However, that does come to mind on this particular bite, because the flavor is, the juiciness is there, the crunch is there, and the flavors they're present, but they're not going to overpower anything else in the salad. Like if you also have some cheeses or sliced egg, this actually really would be good in a salad. It would add some sweetness to counterbalance anything more savory that you might also have in there. I'm going to go back on saying that saying an apple is good in a salad is kind of a throwaway statement, because it's a perfect salad apple. It just is. It would be quite good in it because of the overall balance and low acidity and the subtlety of the sweetness. Yeah. What did I say for the Jake Appleman Apple Power ranking? 501.95. Yeah, we'll stick with that. And I think I mentioned this, but on the Stemlet Growers website, it did indicate that the Ambrosia Gold is suitable for cooking. Yeah, this is good stuff. Fresh, light, crisp. juicy, subtly sweet. A child would be bored with this apple compared to some of the more heavily syrupy sweet apples out there like Sugar Bee. But this is definitely an apple for grown-ups, especially if you are in a situation where you're able to just eat the apple mindfully and not be doing this as part of another task where your attention is divided, like mine is now, trying to have the experience but also relay the experience into words. Yeah, this was a good one. Have a good week ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, all of that jazz. I say all of that jazz, but it's actually very important to me, not gonna lie.